Okay, picture this. You're standing there, looking up at the Tian Shan Mountains, and there's this road just winding its way up through these incredible peaks. Some still have snow, even in summer.
Hmm, incredible image.
Right, and the air's so crisp, you just feel this sense of awe. It's not just any road, it's the Duku Highway in China.
Right.
Legendary.
Absolutely legendary. Famous for the beauty, but also uh, notoriously tough.
Exactly. Drivers talk about experiencing 4 seasons in one day. The weather just flips constantly. Sunshine 1 minute, then mist, maybe even ice rain. It's wild, even in a car.
It really is. But what we're diving into today, and this is especially for you, our listener, if you're curious about actually cycling the Duku.
Yeah, maybe even dreaming about it.
Precisely. What we found from talking to people who've driven it is that the real spectacle, the thing that truly stands out,
Hmm.
it's the cyclists.
Yes, the Iron Men, the brave warriors, as people call them. Our mission today is to really unpack what makes cycling the Duku so incredibly hardcore.
We want to explore why these individuals inspire such admiration based on these firsthand accounts. They become, as one person said, the most special, most hardcore scenery on the whole highway.
It's more than just a bike ride, it's something else entirely.
Even just driving it, you're dealing with huge elevation changes, those tricky mountain roads, the weather.
Hmm,
You feel like you've achieved something.
definitely. But then you see them.
Yeah. And suddenly your perspective shifts. It's not the mountains or the road itself that capture you most. It's these people pedaling away, often completely alone.
That sheer determination, it elevates the whole experience, doesn't it?
It really does. It makes you wonder, what exactly are they facing? Why the Iron Men label?
Well, the sources we looked at consistently call it an ultimate test of physical strength and willpower. It's
Right.
not just about distance, it's about pushing your absolute limits.
And the northern section of the Duku really brings that into sharp focus.
Oh, yeah. Imagine facing endless slopes to climb, endless gasping for breath. That's how it's described. You're on your bike, legs burning, lungs aching, and around the next bend.
Yeah, just another massive climb. People see these cyclists head down, just grinding it out, slope after slope.
Slow progress, maybe, but incredibly determined. Stubborn almost. It's a relentless physical battle.
And that's just the climbing part. Then there's the weather.
Right. The elements are a major player here. Drivers might complain from inside their warm car about sudden ice rain or thick fog rolling in at the passes.
Feeling a bit chilly, maybe adjust the heating.
Exactly. But the cyclists, they're out in it. They're enduring the cold rain directly. Their bodies are the only shield.
And the fog. People talk about visibility dropping to almost nothing.
And the cyclists are just groping forward, moving slowly in that dense fog. It takes incredible nerve. You're basically pedaling into the unknown.
Talk about a raw confrontation with nature.
And don't forget the temperature swings. They're brutal.
Accounts mention going from, say, 30 degrees Celsius down near the plains
Unwrapper heat.
up to near freezing, maybe even below zero at the high passes, all in one day.
Yeah.
Again, for drivers, it's AC or heat.
Hmm.
For cyclists, often just a single windbreaker.
Wow. So you're not just riding, you're constantly battling thermal shock. Your body's working overtime just to cope. That's another layer of hardcore.
Absolutely. And then there are the descents. You might think, finally a break.
Yeah, time to coast.
Not so fast. The sources make it clear that even going downhill is tough. It demands stronger focus and courage.
Why is that?
You're dealing with continuous sharp turns and steep descents. The road surface might not be perfect. One wrong move.
Okay, so no relaxing then. Constant concentration.
Exactly. It's mentally draining as well as physically demanding. Just navigating those winding, sometimes dangerous downhills is a serious test.
So the North sounds like this epic battle of perseverance against the climbs, the cold, the rain, the fog.
Right. Grit is the word.
But then the accounts we looked at suggest the other parts of the highway, the middle and south sections, present a different kind of challenge. There's this fascinating distinction people make.
Yeah, they say the north section relies on perseverance, but the south section relies on survival or life extension.
Life extension, that's intense. What does that mean in practice?
Well, it signals a shift in the main difficulty. It's less about the raw, wet, cold, and the super steep climbs of the north, and more about endurance in a different environment. It becomes a fight against depletion, heat, and just the sheer remoteness.
Okay, let's break that down. So even heading south, there are still climbs.
Oh, yes. The sources are clear. Still endless slopes to climb. The Duku is never flat for long.
Right. And even if a climb isn't as brutally steep as in the north, after days of riding, with all that elevation already gained.
Every single uphill becomes a huge test. Cumulative fatigue is a massive factor. It just wears you down.
But the big difference is the climate.
Exactly. That wet cold of the north gives way to conditions that are hotter and drier as you go south.
Which brings its own problems, I guess.
Huge problems. Primarily, extreme water shortage. The supply points, places to refill water bottles, can be really far apart.
So you're not just hot, you're potentially running out of water.
Precisely. It's described as a baking test. The sun beats down, the air is dry, you have to be incredibly careful with your water. People talk about cyclists rationing every single drop.
That sounds incredibly stressful.
It is. Knowing your next refill might be hours, maybe even half a day's ride away, it changes how you approach everything.
And this leads to some really striking images people describe seeing, right?
Yeah, definitely. You picture these cyclists, they've battled the climbs, the weather, now the heat and thirst,
Yeah.
and they just pull over.
No cafes or anything.
Nope. They take out their simple dry food and water, and they just sit down on the spot right by the side of the road to refuel.
Wow.
It's this incredible contrast people note. Behind them, this absolutely magnificent scenery, maybe vast grasslands or canyons.
And in front of them, just a very simple lunch.
It really highlights their dedication, their focus. It's a really powerful image of just pure resilience against this epic backdrop.
It drives home that point again. It's not only physical strength, but also powerful willpower.
Absolutely. The conditions just force you to dig incredibly deep, whether it's the physical agony of the climbs, the biting cold, the disorienting fog, or that desperate need for water under a blazing sun. Every part of you is tested.
So bringing this back to our listener, maybe someone who's thinking, could I do this? What's the takeaway? These cyclists, they're not just out for a scenic ride.
Not at all. They're doing something fundamentally different. They measure Tian Shan with two wheels, as the sources say, in the purest way possible.
Purist. How so?
Well, it's not about having the fanciest gear or setting speed records. It's about the direct confrontation with the mountain, relying only on your own body and mind. It's raw, unfiltered, almost primal, you could say.
And that's why people admire them so much.
I think so. Our sources consistently point to their incredible physical strength, unwavering perseverance, and raw courage. That's what people see and respect.
They're not just passing through the landscape.
No, they become part of it. Moving scenery, as some describe them. Dynamic examples of what humans can endure. They really are seen as true heroes out there.
And that's really relevant for anyone listening, isn't it? Even if you never cycled the Duku Highway yourself.
Absolutely. It's about what it represents. Pushing your limits, facing challenges head-on, discovering that inner strength maybe you didn't even know you had.
People watching them feel that respect, that sense of this vicarious achievement almost.
It's a powerful testament to the human spirit. Choosing to undertake something so immense, often just for the challenge itself. It reminds you what we're capable of.
So we've really explored the depths of this challenge. The endless slopes, the ice rain, the baking heat, the fog, but also the incredible spirit of the cyclists. It truly is a testament to human endurance.
It certainly makes you think about your own challenges, doesn't it?
It really does. So the question for you listening now is, what does it mean for you to embrace a challenge that tests your limits? Maybe it's not cycling the Duku, maybe it's your own personal uphill climb that requires that same kind of grit and determination. What kind of iron person are you on your own path?